Have you ever been torn between what your heart wants and what your duty demands? Have you ever felt paralyzed by doubt, unable to take the next step, afraid that any choice you make might lead to regret? If so, you are not alone. What if I told you that thousands of years ago, the greatest warrior of his time, Arjuna, faced the very same struggle? That right before the greatest battle in history, he was crippled, not by swords or arrows, but by his own mind. Today, I will tell you a story of war, not just on the battlefield, but within the soul. A story of courage, of duty, of purpose. A story that holds a lesson so powerful that it has guided warriors, kings, and sages for generations. Watch till the end to uncover this lesson. And if you are listening to my words, comment your name below so I know who is walking this journey with me. One lucky listener will receive a special shout-out in my next story. The sun cast long shadows over the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The air trembled with tension, the ground heavy under the weight of thousands of warriors. Armor gleamed like molten gold, swords glistened with the promise of battle. It was a war that would change the course of history. And yet, amidst this chaos, one man stood frozen. Arjuna, the greatest archer to ever live. His heart pounded as his chariot rolled to the center of the battlefield. Driven by Krishna, his charioteer, his guide, and his closest friend. "Take me there, Krishna," Arjuna had said. "I want to see those I must fight." And so Krishna took him to the heart of the war. But when Arjuna looked across the field, his breath caught in his throat. There, standing against him, were not just enemies, but family. His uncles, his cousins, his grandfather Bhishma, the man who had cradled him as a child. His teacher, Dronakarya, the man who had once placed a bow in his hands, now raised a bow against him. Arjuna's hands trembled. His mind raced. How could I raise my weapon against them? His voice, usually steady, broke as he spoke. "Krishna, I cannot do this," he said. He dropped his bow. His strength left him. "I would rather die than fight them. This war is a great sin." And in that moment, the great warrior Arjuna, the hero of the Pandavas, the man who had never known fear, was lost. Krishna looked at him, a knowing smile playing on his lips. He did not rush to speak. Instead, he let the silence wrap around them like a cloak, heavy with meaning. Then, in a voice as steady as the earth, he said, "Arjuna, what has come over you? This weakness, this doubt, this fear. It does not suit you. Are you a warrior, or are you a man who runs from battle? Where is the Arjuna who once fought without hesitation for what was right?" Arjuna turned away, shame burning within him. "But Krishna, they are my family, my loved ones. How can I kill my own blood?" he asked. Krishna's eyes softened, but his voice carried a quiet strength. "Arjuna, this war is not about blood. It is about dharma, your duty. You are blinded by emotions, but you must see beyond them. If you do not fight, injustice will win. If you do not stand, the world will fall into darkness. Is that not also a crime? Is inaction not also a choice?" Arjuna's mind was a storm. "Then tell me, Krishna, how do I know what is truly right? How do I silence this battle within me?" And at that moment, Krishna smiled. For now, Arjuna was ready to listen. And so, on that battlefield, amidst the clashing of swords and the cries of warriors, began the greatest conversation in history. A conversation that would become the Bhagavad Gita, the song of the divine. The battlefield of Kurukshetra is not just a story from the past. It is the battlefield of our minds. Every day we stand like Arjuna, caught between our fears and our responsibilities, between what we want and what we must do. And every day Krishna speaks to us, but do we listen? The Gita teaches us that in life, inaction is also a choice. Avoiding a difficult decision does not erase the problem. It only delays the battle. It teaches us that fear is an illusion. The mind creates doubts that are larger than reality. But the moment we take the first step, we realize that courage was always within us. It teaches us that duty must come before fear, that we must stand for what is right, even when it is difficult. So I ask you today, what is your battlefield? What is the battle you are avoiding? What fear is stopping you from moving forward? The answer does not lie outside. The answer lies within you. Listen, Krishna is speaking within you. Will you hear him? My dear listeners, if this story spoke to you, if you felt even a moment of Arjuna's doubt or Krishna's wisdom, then I ask you, carry this lesson with you. Face your battles, trust yourself, and always choose Dharma over fear. Comment your name below if you listened till the end so I know who walks this path with me, and one lucky listener will receive a special shout-out in my next video. If you found value in this, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. And if you wish to hear the next chapter of this story, let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay strong, stay fearless, and remember, the greatest battle is always within.